Here we are again with another route for your Middlesbrough test centre. This time we're doing route number 3. We're starting at the test centre as usual, and we're going to be going off out and about, showing you where we're going to be going, where you could possibly go on your driving test, and pointing out all those funny little junctions that you want to be looking out for. Now the route I'm just looking at here is going to be taking us off through towards Eston, and it's going to be taking us onto the A174, so we're doing a bit of a fast route today as well. If there's a possibility of doing an overtake, we'll do an overtake and we'll talk you through that. Don't forget, on your test, if you do one of the fast routes and it is an overtake is possible, you probably would be expected to do so. Okay then, so off we go then. So just a reminder then, we're not going into the test centre, we're staying away from the test centre so we don't interfere with any driving tests that are going on. And off we go. Okay, so we're heading out of the test centre. We're going to be turning right at the end of the road. So no indication is actually required because there's nobody around who's going to benefit from that signal. And of course, checking my mirrors before the junction and after the junction. Now don't forget, when you're doing your driving test, you're also going to be doing an independent drive. Now that means driving basically on your own. Obviously you've got the examiner sitting next to you, but it's following the sat-nav. Or if you're unlucky, and I've got a theory behind this, you'll follow road signs. Now my theory is you do the road signs towards the end of the day because the battery on the sat-nav's running out. That's my theory. Whether it's true or not, I don't know, but that's what I think. And usually what I think is right. So yeah, so independent drive, it'll last for around about 20 minutes, where it's like you say, you'll be following a sat-nav or you'll be following road signs, and then you'll be expected to go the correct way, obviously. Now if you do happen to go the wrong way, don't worry too much. The examiner will try and get you back on track if it's possible. You won't fail for going the wrong way. However, if you keep repeatedly going the wrong way, the examiner's probably going to think that you are trying to avoid part of the route. So we're turning left at these traffic lights. I can't indicate until I pass this junction here. Now I can indicate. Now with these lights there, we can possibly get a green arrow which comes on for us. Now that usually happens when there's quite a few cars waiting to turn left. When the green arrow comes on, it means it's safe for you to go and you should be going. I have had a girl fail here before because she sat with the green arrow on and there was cars behind her. And again, you may not get the green arrow, but you just get the normal green arrow with the green light which we're getting now. That means you can go as well. Some people for some reason think they can only go if the arrow's on. Okay, so as we come round here, we've got the bike lane immediately on our left-hand side. It has now been painted, so we can see exactly where it is. Don't cross it, simple as that. And just squeeze through there. Now again, depending on the time of day that you come along this way, it's going to depend on what's happening here. Because lots of people park along here to pick the kids up from school. So you may be fighting your way through cars, depending on what time it is. Now we're going straight ahead at these traffic lights. Now I've mentioned this before in other videos, or videos to come if you've not seen them. Further up the road, you can't quite see the sign properly, but further up the road, the left-hand lane is going to go into the superstore. It's going to go into Tesco's. Other supermarkets are available. Drop them in the comments box if you know what they are. Yeah, so that lane, left-hand lane, although it's straight ahead now, it's going to go left into the Tesco's. If I stay in this right-hand lane and maintain my speed, i.e. keep up to the speed limit, nobody should undertake me, so I'm not inconveniencing anybody, but I'm now in the correct lane for going straight ahead. So we can see the sign there now telling us that the left-hand lane is going through to the Superstore and the right-hand lane is going towards Teesport and Redcar. A little bit of a dog leg here to go around, and there we go. Okay, so I'm in the correct lane. I've not inconvenienced anybody because I've kept up to speed. I'm watching out for this keep clear, so obviously we want to keep clear when it says so. So you may notice that each time I pull away, I'll do a quick check on my mirrors. That's to make sure that nobody sneaked up alongside me. Now when we get to the roundabout just up ahead, we're going to be going first exit. So checking my mirrors, centre left, indications going on because there are vehicles around me. Looking into the roundabout as I approach, checking that left mirror one more time and noticing my temporary traffic lights are on red. Now the examiner may take you a slightly different way to avoid these lights. It all really depends on when you're doing it. Now with that, examiners can go where they want basically. There are routes for them to follow, but if they need to change them, they will do. New routes come out all the time. So these routes which I'm doing with you now are basically showing you junctions, what you need to do at certain roundabouts, that kind of thing. So there's a very good chance you're going to get these on your test in any case. So at the end of the road, we're going to be turning right onto Church Lane. So again, checking centre right, indicators going on because I do have vehicles behind me. I can see vehicles coming from my left. There's nothing from the right. I'm going to follow this one out and off I go. Check mirrors, centre right, and away we go. Now remember, this road is 30 miles an hour. We've got our normal zebra crossing as we're approaching, checking either side, watching this vehicle coming up on the left, making sure that they've looked at me and that they're stopping. Again, giving all the vehicles a door's width gap as we go past. Now I'm looking ahead, I can see the lights are on green, but how long have they been on green? I think there's a very good chance they're going to go to red before we get there. So I've checked my mirrors, so I know what's happening behind me. I'm ready to stop, and there we go. Gentle braking, because I was ready for it. So green, go if it's safe to do so. So the reason I say that is because earlier on today I've just done a lesson with somebody, and another learner it was, stalled in the middle of the junction, and then our lights went to green. With them stranded in the middle, there was two vehicles in front of me. Both of them didn't care less, and they went straight off, cutting the other person up, the learner up. We held back, let them do the thing, clear the junction, and off they went. It's not fair on the person who's made a mistake. The junction wasn't clear and it wasn't safe to go. So the two cars that did go were in the wrong. So remember, green means go if it is safe to do so. Now this part of the road here is a favourite for being pulled over because you've got a little hill start to do. And at the end of the road, we're going to be turning right. So already I'm checking my mirrors as soon as I see the road. I know there's vehicles behind me. As I get a little closer, indicate. Goes on to say I'm turning right. Now again, this junction's a little bit, not strange or weird, it's a little bit awkward. We can see quite clearly from the left, but the ones from the right is a little bit harder because they will come over that brow of the hill quite quickly. So waiting for this vehicle to clear in front of me. I can see it's clear to the left and to the right, and off we go, nice and positive away. Don't hesitate if you see a car coming over like there. So I'm looking round the bend, I can see the brake lights are coming on the vehicles in front. Not too sure why, they're not turning off. Now we're going to continue straight ahead towards Stokesley, Middlesbrough and Acklam. So we're straight across at the junction. Now they've put a new filter box in here for you to get into to make it easier. Look at this Mercedes, it hasn't even bothered to get in there. So it's making it that little bit harder for everybody to get past. So when you've got filter boxes like that, you need to get your car into them completely, not half in and half out like they were. I guarantee now, if you inconvenience somebody because you've not got into the junction, into the box properly, you're going to fail your test. Okay, so simple things like that can make a big difference. So again, that's speaking from experience. I had a girl who was told by the examiner that she was lucky because nobody came up behind her, because they would have basically inconvenienced them. So remembering keeping an eye on your speed. So again, we've mentioned this before, especially at school time, you've got a lot of zebra crossings along here. Keep an eye out for them for people being used for using them. Okay, we're taking the next road on the left, which is Allendale Road. Some mirror checks. There's my sign telling me it's coming up. Obviously vehicles around me, so we're indicating. Nice and steady round into Allendale. And off we go again. Mirror checks on exit. Or on entry. So reducing our speed because we're meeting the vehicles. We don't want to get on top of these vehicles We want to be at least 3 car lengths behind before we stop if we can't get past. We need to leave ourselves plenty of room to get round them. Now at the end of the road we're turning right. Okay, mirrors are being checked, there's nobody there. However, if somebody appears, I'm going to put my indicators on. So looking left, nobody there. Looking right, I can see the pedestrian crossing. So I take it nice and steady, give them a chance to get over the road. Check mirrors and off we go. And as always, I'm looking as far ahead as I can. Always as far ahead. That way I can react to things a lot sooner. Now at the end of the road, we're going to be turning left. Checking mirrors. Vehicles are around on the new road. You can see I've got a nice gap there. Nice and positive. Off we go. Remember, it's only 30 along here. Now we're going to be turning onto the 174 or the Parkway. Now it's a 70 mile an hour road. You'll see the speed change as we enter. It's quite a small sign there saying Redcar and Saltburn A174. I'll wait until I get past the pub entrance. Now I'm going to indicate, checking my mirrors and following it round. There's a give way. I'm looking in as I approach. Nobody there. There's my change of speed. Now I'm using my slip road to get my speed up to at least 50, minimum of 50. However, I'm going to go a little bit quicker. Indication is on nice and early so people know I'm here. And I'm basically driving in a straight line and drifting onto the road. Cancel my indication once my left-hand side is in the road. And as usual, checking mirrors. Up to 70. I don't think we're going to have an opportunity to overtake anybody because the little red car is up to speed. If we're doing 70, what's this car doing? So it's the old cliche, speed kills. It really does. Now try and relax and enjoy this little bit of your test. It's just a nice steady drive along. We're looking ahead, we're watching the traffic. We've got the big roundabout sign there coming up. We're going to be going straight ahead. The main road there is off to Teesport. You can see there by the thickness of the line. So you can see there we're heading towards Teesport, so it's second to exit. So I'm bringing my speed down nice and gentle. I'm off the gas. I've got a reduced speed now, so gentle braking. I'm not doing harsh braking, it's just nice and gentle. These rumble strips are quite vicious now. They've redone them, and you can probably tell with the cameras. So we've got a green light at the moment. I suspect it might go red. It looks like it might be staying. It is. Following that lane for Teesport, passing that last exit, indicating that we're coming off. There's my sign there, Teesport. And again, checking my mirrors, accelerating away nice and positive. So I know there's a possibility of overtaking this truck. However, I know that the roundabout's coming up. So is it worth doing a risky manoeuvre? So there's the roundabout there. All I'd be doing is be accelerating to get past him to brake in front of him. And as you can see there, actually, he's turning off to the right. Now we're going to be taking the second exit again towards Teesport. Gentle braking over a longer distance rather than all at once over a short distance. Get that perfectly timed. There we go, staying in our lane, following it round, indications going on at the last exit. Still following the road markings for Teesport and the signage. And then we're taking that first exit towards Middlesbrough. Again, mirrors are being checked, looking into the roundabout as I approach. Following it round. There we go. Speed changed to 50 this time, so the speed's dropped. Green light being on there for quite some time. Expected to be changing. And if it does, you're ready for it. If it doesn't, well, great. Again, bringing our speed down nice and gentle over that longer distance. See if we can keep the car rolling. Remember I've said before in videos before, challenge yourself to keep the car moving if you can at traffic lights. Obviously, if you've got to stop, then you've got to stop. But again, we've managed to do it there. We've kept the car moving. Again, setting ourselves that challenge. Can we keep the car moving? Looks like we might be able to. It makes it that little bit easier for your car to get going. If you've never pushed a car before, try it. It takes so much power and energy to get it moving, but keeping it moving is a lot easier. It's exactly the same for the engine. It's got to get this lump of a car moving, so it takes more power, more fuel, more energy than what it does to keep it rolling. Now we're taking the second exit here, heading towards the Motorsports Centre. It is also signposted Skipper's Lane. So we're looking into the roundabout. We can see there's trucks coming round. Now I'm going to stop so I can see between these two vans rather than get myself blocked. So I can now see between the two. So I know what's happening, what's going on. I can see there's a gap there. These cars are going to go, and I know the gap was big enough for me to go as well. So don't go and sit next to a big vehicle that you can't see past. Put yourself in between and look in between them. Now we're taking the second exit. This is our first. This is our second. Now just be careful because the curb does come out a little bit here. It used to be a slip road. There's nobody around to indicate to, so round we go nice and steady. So end of the road, we're turning right back towards the test centre. Now don't relax too much. Remember what I've said before, your test does not end until you're at the test centre with the handbrake on and the engine switched off. Okay? And as I've said before in previous videos, looking out for the end of this fence. It's going to go green and then we're going to be turning at the end of it. Little test centre sign up there, checking our mirrors, indicating that we're turning left into the test centre. And there we go, they're actually just finishing there now. So we're going to park up here at the test centre. I know there's a car coming, so I'm going to be quite quick. I've done my checks, made sure there's nobody around, and in we go. Straightening the car up there. There we go. So there we go then, that's route number 3 for you. Any questions as per usual, drop them in the comments box and I will get back to you as soon as possible with them. When you do leave the comment in the comments box, leave me the time on the video as well so I can see where you're talking about and I can get straight back to you, hopefully. Okay, take care. I'll see you on the next one. Have fun driving. Bye now.